From sleeping in his first pizza shop to a total pizza empire. Tom Monahan's story. It's really something else. We're doing a deep dive today, going to be looking at how he got to the top of the pizza world. And what's interesting is we've got this transcript. It's probably from a YouTube interview, but it honestly reads like one of those classic American dream stories. Except, well, there are some twists and turns you won't see coming. So picture this. You're a kid, orphaned, being shuffled between different homes, different schools. That was Monahan's life. But instead of holding him back, all that instability seemed to light a fire in him.
You know what they say? Sometimes those tough beginnings can actually make you more resilient. And you can really see that in Monahan's story right from the start. Almost like those early obstacles forced him to adapt, to find his own way.
He was definitely not afraid of hard work, that's for sure. There's this great story about him picking cherries as a kid. And get this, instead of just, going through the motions, he was already trying to figure out how to do it better, how to make the whole process more efficient. Even back then, the guy was thinking like an entrepreneur. But it wasn't all smooth sailing to success, not even close. I mean, he was in the military for a bit, then got mixed up in some shady oil investment. It got so bad that he was actually homeless for a while, sleeping in what would eventually become his very first pizza shop.
You see this pattern throughout his life,
Yeah.
right? This willingness to take risks. But what's really amazing is how he learns from everything, even the failures. Each setback, it's like it fueled his determination even more.
Yeah, talk about finding the silver lining, right? Maybe that's what got him through those early challenges, that unwavering belief in himself. Okay, now imagine this. It's a crazy busy night at the pizza shop. They're short-staffed, probably chaos everywhere. And Monahan just decides to simplify the menu, and boom, that's the turning point. Profits go up, and it proves that sometimes less really is more.
Oh, absolutely. It just shows how streamlining can unlock growth in ways you'd never expect. By scaling things back, focusing on fewer things, he wasn't just making life easier in the kitchen, he was tapping into something customers craved. Simplicity, efficiency, even if they couldn't put it into words themselves.
And that wasn't his only light bulb moment. This is where free delivery comes in. And it's not like it was some genius MBA strategy or anything. It kind of happened by accident. His brother, who he was in business with at the time, left, leaving Monahan with just a VW Beetle to make all the deliveries.
And think about it. What we consider totally normal today, that free delivery, that was groundbreaking back then. Imagine you're a college student, you're craving pizza, suddenly you don't even have to leave your dorm. It was unheard of.
Totally changed the game. And people loved it. But as Domino starts blowing up, he's got new problems. Trying to keep up with demand, keep the quality high, all while getting more and more efficient. Classic growing pains of a successful business. Oh, and get this. You know that corrugated pizza box, the one we all know and love? We can thank Monahan for that too. Soggy pizzas were driving him crazy. So he went and invented a solution. Though, it's funny. We can get so caught up in this whole Domino's success story. But the more we dig into Monahan's life, the more those early experiences really jump out at you, right?
No doubt about it. That tough childhood, his time in the orphanage, those things stuck with him, shaped how he saw the world. Think about the values you learn in those kinds of places. Hard work, discipline. And for Monahan, a deep, deep Catholic faith.
It's like those values became his guiding principles, even when he had all this wealth and success coming his way. Makes you wonder, if he hadn't gone through those struggles early on, would he have had that same drive, that same fight to overcome all the obstacles in his path?
That's a tough one to answer for sure.
Uh-huh.
There's definitely a link there, right? Those challenges, they can light a fire in you. This need to prove yourself,
Yeah.
to yourself and to everyone else.
And for Monahan, that fire led him to build a whole pizza empire. But his story doesn't end there, does it?
Nope, not at all. This is where things take a really interesting turn. Instead of clinging to all that wealth, all those possessions, he starts selling them off, dives headfirst into philanthropy, especially with the Catholic Church. Like he's searching for something more meaningful than money or success.
Makes you really question what success even means, It's like he's saying, okay, I conquered the business world, what's next? And for Monahan, the answer wasn't more money, more pizza. It was about living a life that felt true to him, true to his values.
And honestly, that's a powerful message for all of us. It's so easy to get caught up in chasing external validation, hitting those big milestones. But Monahan's story is a good reminder. Real fulfillment, that comes from within. It's about aligning your life with what you believe in.
It's like he's got his own internal scorecard, not the one the rest of the world tries to push on us. But even with that inner compass, it makes me wonder, could a story like his even happen today? The business world, it's a whole different animal now.
It's a question we're thinking about. The barriers to entry in the food industry, especially with pizza everywhere, they're so much higher now. We're talking massive corporations, delivery apps, ruling everything. It's a whole different ballgame than when Monahan was starting out.
Can you imagine trying to launch a pizza startup now with just a few $100 and a dream, getting the money, dealing with regulations, all the competition? It boggles the mind.
Oh, it's a whole new set of hurdles, no question.
Yeah.
But the core of Monahan's story, the hard work, the resilience, learning from mistakes and adapting, those are timeless, essential for any entrepreneur, no matter what or when.
So if we're trying to find those modern day Monahans out there, it's not about like copying his exact recipe, right? It's about capturing that same spirit, that drive.
Exactly. It might not be pizza anymore, but it could be a totally new spin on something familiar, some tech solution no one's thought of, or even just a local business that really gets what their community needs.
Mm.
Think about that bookstore that went all in on online orders when the pandemic hit. They saw an opening and they went for it, and now they're doing great.
Right. Classic hustle, not afraid to try new things. And you can tell they really believe in what they're doing, just like Monahan.
For sure. And we shouldn't underestimate the value of learning from people who came before us, even if they're in totally different fields. Monahan's story is full of lessons, even for someone who's never even thought about starting a business.
What are some of those takeaways that stand out to you?
Well, his focus on efficiency was incredible. And remember how he put the customer first with that free delivery? Those are ideas that go way beyond any one industry. It's about understanding why something works, not just copying it. You're taking the core idea and making it your own.
Taking those base ingredients and whipping up something totally new. Maybe that's the biggest lesson here, right?
I think so. Yeah, he made a ton of money, but that's not the whole story. He changed his priorities, wanted something more than just wealth. And in the end, he used his success to give back. It shows us that we get to decide what success means for ourselves.
That's a really powerful thought, isn't it? What if success isn't just about getting to the finish line? What if it's about always growing, reevaluating, and taking everything you've learned, the good and the bad, to create a life that truly means something to you?
Now, there's a deep dive I can get behind.
Couldn't agree more. We'll leave you all with that one. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the incredible life of Tom Monahan. From homeless to pizza king, who knew a slice of life could be so inspiring?